my friends, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be giving you the list of the last 5 foods that have a total 0 carb count and sugar count. Plus, I'm going to be giving you a brief description how to properly read a food label to understand how much sugar you will be putting into your body. Also, I'm going to tell you how I figured all this out. So, you must watch this video right till the end to find out how I learned all about this information. So first of all, I'll start off with telling you how to properly read a food label. So you must understand our body uses sugar as its main fuel source, which means everything we eat turns to sugar, which means the carb count of a product and the sugar count of a product turns to sugar, not just the sugar count. So let me give you an example. If you're looking at a product and it tells you that a certain serving size, this is also very important, the serving size. The carb count is, let's say it's about 20. That's, you make a note of that. Then you look at the sugar count, let's say it's 3. So you add those together and your total sugar count for that serving size is 23. Don't just look at a product and say, well, I'm going to eat this and see what it does to my blood sugar numbers a few hours later. Well, no, you have to understand how to calculate this because everything we eat turns to sugar. This is very important. Now, before I begin to give you the list, I'm going to go over another thing. I'm going to tell you all the nutritional information right now because the whole list has all the same types of nutritional information. This way, I won't be repeating myself over and over. So all these foods are high in protein, they're high in iron, high in magnesium, they have all of your vitamins, and also they are high in healthy omega-3 fats. Healthy omega-3 fats, not trans fats. Let me get that clear. People are afraid of fat, as long as it's omega-3 fat. So let's begin. Now, the first food we're looking at is, well, steak. Carb count, 0. Sugar count, 0. Add those two up. What do you got? Let me hear you. 0. That's right. Now, it stays 0 as long as you properly cook it, not in vegetable oil, or add, all that barbecue sauces, all that icky man-made stuff, Then this number will change. And you'll have to test to see how it does affect your number. So don't go crazy by adding barbecue sauce. Like I said, it's high in protein, all of your vitamins, your fiber, your magnesium, and it keeps you full. The next one we're looking at is pork. Piece of pork, as in like a pork chop, properly cooked, baked, barbecue, not fried in vegetable oil, and no toppings added. Once again, all your sauces. Your carb count is 0. Your sugar count is 0. Add those up and whammo, you got 0. The next one is seafood. So you can have your seafood salad with a little bit of olive oil in there, but avoid the dressing. And your carb count, total carb count, will be 0. Next are your cured meats. Now, we all know what cured meats are, and you're probably saying, listen, what about those those nitrates? Well, yeah, there are nitrates in there, but depending on where you buy your cured meats from, if you get them from big national companies, well, they tend to have a little bit more nitrates than your small European companies because Europeans know how to cure their meat. Believe me, the proper way without sticking in nitrates to make them last long. Because, well, let's face it, how long does cured meat really last? You want to eat it right away. So try to purchase your cured meats in smaller European places. Also, their carb count is 0 and their sugar count is 0. Then the next food item you're looking at is, well, cheese. Carb count is 0 and the sugar count is 0, provided it's eaten within a reasonable serving size that is recommended on the label. But you know what? It still has a total of zero. Once again, don't add toppings on it because then you blow the whole thing. So now my friends are probably wondering, well, how did I learn all about these cured meats? And no, it wasn't from going to YouTube University or online. How did I learn this? Well, by testing. That's right, the good old blood test machine. It's like having your own doctor in your house because you know what? It's got to be right. It was made by science. And I not only had one, I have two to double check, and they're very accurate. So I learned about all these foods by testing. I figured out which ones are problematic and which ones aren't, and I learned how to incorporate them. I learned that all of your grains, your wheat, your flour, your sugar, all of your snack foods are the problem. That's right. You know, your pasta, your bread, your potatoes, your rice, even the healthy kind. You know, those sweet potatoes that they tell you, well, don't have regular potatoes. Try to have sweet potatoes. They won't spike your blood sugar up too high. Well, my friends, it's still going to go up high. And when you're a type 2 diabetic, well, I would completely remove these food items from the list. Now you're probably saying, well, they tell us that they're healthy. We need them for the vitamins and whatnot. Well, they're telling us the truth. All these grains are healthy the way Mother Nature gives them to us from the ground up, not when they're chopped up and processed by man and turned into Frankenstein foods. Then they're problematic for diabetics. So when you start testing, you learn about this. Now, I'm not really telling you to remove all these foods from your list. Try to understand how they affect your numbers by testing. And by doing this, you could incorporate them in a way that, you know what, they will not affect your numbers too high. Or maybe you might have to remove them completely. Now, another thing that testing will tell you, if you test within 1 hour, it will tell you your peak. Now, you're probably saying, well, what does a peak mean? What's the matter with it if it's an hour? We were told to test 2 hours later. No, my friends. During this peak, this is when everybody's blood sugar rises, diabetic or not. By doing this, you'll know how that food really affected your blood sugar. And when this peak happens, it is causing a lot of damage to our health throughout the whole body. Now, when people tell me, well, you know what? What diet do I follow? Well, I tell them that I follow the low spike diet. That's right. They just look at me and say, what the heck is a low spike diet? And I explain it to them. But I only tell them when people start to see the changes that testing has made for me. By testing, I learned to, well, in my case, I removed all those products. I lost weight without purchasing any gimmicks, pills, lotions, potions, or courses. That's right, I removed all of them and I incorporated well, let's put it this way, a low carb diet. 40 grams of carbs per meal, and I eat meals twice a day. That's right, this has been able to remove 36 pounds off me, and I've been able to stay off diabetic meds for a long time. So, my friends, this is how I learned about all these foods, which brings to saying that testing is very important. Now, don't just think that because you tested a couple of times and you figured everything out, you are a know it all. You're not. I still test because as time gone by, the foods that were safe to eat a while ago, well, they still spike your blood sugar numbers down because things have changed. Man sneaks in sugar in different names because there's over 1,000 kinds of different names for the word sugar. So be very careful. Now, I understand that you're saying that testing is expensive and I can't do it so often. But here's a trick to help you save money on purchasing a monitor. The trick is don't look at how expensive a monitor costs. Find out how cheap the test strips are, and you'll be able to start testing. Now, on this channel, I'm not sponsored by any company, so I'm not going to tell you the name of the one that I use. But I'll give you a little hint. It comes in a yellow box with a butterfly on the side. Ah, most of you probably understood what it is. If not, just go to the pharmacy and ask your pharmacist, and they'll know exactly which one it is. Now, by watching this video up until this point, you'll understand the foods that spike your blood sugar like crazy, and you might not have to test as often. So that's another cost saving method that I gave to you right now. So there's two right there. Plus, you will lose the weight without purchasing any other products. And that's a third one that I taught you. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Hit the like button, keep sharing it, and subscribe to my channel so YouTube will let you know every time I post a video. I try to post videos up on a weekly basis as time and scheduling permits. So, don't forget, all carbs turn to sugar, and knowledge is power. Bye for now.